Are you waiting on the market to crash before you buy your next or your first rental property? I hear this all too often. You know, the market is super inflated right now. Prices are going through the roof. We've never seen a housing market like we have here in 2021. But a lot of folks think that the 2008 crash is coming again, or it's right around the corner. So instead of taking action today, they're going to wait for another market crash to start their real estate investing career. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Wayrung, and I'm going to talk to you today about why I think that's not the best approach. Hopefully give you some different options, or at least some different models to think through that kind of contradict that initial approach of waiting for the market to crash. If this is your first time here, I'd appreciate a like or subscribe. We talk about all things real estate, and look forward to chatting with you. All right, reason number one why I don't think this is a good approach is that 2008 is not a very common market crash. I'll link to another video I shot about why I don't think the current market is going to crash and how it compares to some of the things we saw in 2008. So you can check that out for more insight. But, you know, I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, but a lot of folks that I talk to, a lot of people way smarter than me, have done a lot of research here, and we just don't think that another 2008 is coming. So what if that crash doesn't come and you're sitting on the sidelines continuing to wait for something that's not going to come? I don't think the market can continue to go up on its current trajectory, and I do think a correction is coming in the next 2 to 3, 4 years, but I just don't see, you know, blood in the streets, massive housing market depression like we did see back in 2008. All right, so reason number two, a lot of people think that when this market crash comes, that they're going to come in, swoop up all the properties for the lowest prices. They're going to have banks that are willing to lend to them to build out this huge portfolio of prices at historic lows, and that's just not the case. So if you look back to 2008, almost all the big lenders in the area immediately stopped lending on houses because they were underwater on a lot of the houses that they did lend on. So the people that they continued to lend on in 2008, 2009 were people that had great track records, who were still turning profits and had a good bank accounts, good balance sheets that they felt comfortable still lending against. So I guess the question I would ask you is, do you think that if the market crashes again, a bank will be willing to lend to you to go out and buy your first rental property? Or if you haven't bought in the last 5 to 10 years, are they going to take a risk and lend to someone who hasn't been in this market for quite some time, but thinks that they're going to come in and just take over? I don't know about you, but I wouldn't blame the banks for not lending someone money who hasn't done this for a while or isn't in the game. So I don't think it's a good model to wait and think you're going to jump in and have financing available when you haven't been doing this for quite some time. Now, if you're saying to yourself, I don't need the banks, I'm going to use this time to save up cash so that when the market dips, I can go in and scoop up all the properties for cash. And if that's your thought process around this and you're just looking for a couple properties, I think that's great. That plan could suffice. But this video is more for the folks who have dreams and have goals to build a rental portfolio that can replace their normal income or support them in retirement. And the folks that want to build, you know, 10, 15, 20 house portfolio are just not going to be able to do that for cash unless you just have an incredible income. And in that case, you're probably not in this position anyway. So you may be able to save up for cash, buy 2 or 3 houses, but you're going to be hard pressed to really build out a portfolio without some bank financing involved, just from my experience and what the experience I've heard from other folks who kind of went through this once or twice before. All right, so that's why I don't think that it's a good approach to just wait for the market to crash. One, it may not happen, and two, you're probably not going to be in a position where people take you serious if it does happen. All right, so what should you do? I'm not saying that real estate investing is over. There's no way to make money in this market and you need to just give up on your dreams. I think there are other approaches that you can be doing right now, and I want to talk to you about a couple of those. The first thing, just to be clear, is I'm not saying that you need to go out and still buy properties. You definitely don't want to overpay for properties right now. That kind of defeats the whole purpose. You still need to get a good deal. You still need to buy cash flowing properties. and you still can. I'm going to talk to you about a couple different approaches, not that they're completely going to solve all your problems, but hopefully at least take some proactive steps or to pivot slightly to still make progress when the cards are kind of stacked against you in terms of price. All right, option number one is to look for ways to partnership. Guys, people are still doing a ton of deals. I still talk to people all the time who are crushing it in real estate right now. So if you have capital sitting aside, look for ways to partner with some of the people who are very active in your market. I can tell you, as someone with multiple deals in the works right now, we're always looking for private money and different ways to partner with folks without going through institutional lending or hard money. So that's always an option. Maybe you don't have money, but you have time. Maybe reach out to some of these folks and see what you can do for them to maybe help out and also learn the game, learn some of the things they're doing, but also give them value at the same time. Maybe you could stop by a rehab or help somebody out with demo or just trashing a place out. It might not be fun, but it gets you in the game. It gets you taking proactive steps. It may work your way into some kind of partnership with some of the folks that are active. And guys, there are tons of ways to slice and dice profits, equity, a piece of a business. So I just encourage you to open your mind and think about different possibilities or different ways that you can still show progress and still show that you're active, have an active track record during this market. Another option is to look at different strategies or see how you can pivot on your current strategy to still make progress. So I'm actively looking at vacation homes right now to do short-term rental or kind of the Airbnb market. I just found out that you can do 10% down on vacation homes as long as they're a certain distance away from your primary residence. So I'm exploring that option. I don't know if I'll buy something or not, but it's kind of keeping the gears turning and constantly looking for opportunities that you can take advantage of. So whether it's, short-term rentals, or do you currently do single family, maybe you want to look at multifamily, or if you do multifamily A class, look at D class, or maybe look at storage units and just see how you might be able to potentially gain some traction or open your mind to different opportunities. All right, and the last option that I think everyone should be doing if you seriously want to have success in this business long term and you really want to build out a portfolio is you really have to have some portion of your business coming from off market or direct to seller marketing. This was a big change that I made last year. I'm in a big networking group with folks across the country who are crushing it doing this right now. And so I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not taking this approach on and thinking about ways to get properties before they hit the market. A lot of people are in personal or financial distress and be more than happy to get out from under their property for less than market value. Some people just want what they have into it. Some people are willing to take a loss just to get this stress from out of their life. And then the more common approach that you're probably familiar with is that the property is in distress and someone can't put it on the market because maybe half of the roof is gone or there's no active plumbing in the house and they just need to sell it for cash and they need that cash quickly. These are all opportunities and there are tons of them out there, but you have to be able to connect with the owners of these properties to be able to start having a conversation and to see if it's a good fit. And you might think that this is, a way to take advantage of these sellers, but I can promise you there's more opportunity there to create win-win situations than I'd ever even thought possible. I've gotten tons of 5-star reviews from people that I've bought properties from because if you really take the time to understand someone's situation and what they truly need to get out of it, there are lots of ways to create the deal to benefit all the parties involved and help out. And you're also doing your community a service when you're buying properties that are in duress or have been vacant and have trees growing through them, and you actually get those cleaned up, get a nice family in there, and get them sold and back operational. So it's really a win-win. There are tons of opportunities there, but again, this does take a lot of time. So if you're not willing to kind of stand up a business, learn about marketing, learning how to connect with these sellers, and kind of structure deals a way to make it valuable for all the folks involved, then the last option would be you really just have to go out and network. You need to at least be having conversations with new folks, letting them know that you want to buy real estate, that you have goals of owning X amount of real estate. What kind of real estate do you want to own? All right, and just because sellers are asking ridiculous prices for houses on the MLS right now doesn't mean you can't analyze the property, come up with your max allowable offer, and still submit that. Just in case, they might have a certain situation and they might need to accept that. I just got a client under contract for a property for 50% of asking price, and we're scheduled to close in a couple weeks. So we've put in another 100 offers that we didn't even hear back on, but we have to just kind of stay in the game and continue to take swings, and you never know when you're going to hit the ball. All right, guys, so the point of all this is, instead of taking the easy route or the lazy route of saying, I'm going to wait for the market to crash, I'm going to wait for X to happen, you could be waiting for the rest of your life. The point of this is to take daily action, kind of create your own path for success, put it in your own hands of things that you can do. You might miss a lot. You might start out and feel like you're not going anywhere, but you start knocking over these small dominoes and start to build momentum. You'll be surprised where that takes you. And when you look back, I guarantee you'll be more happy with what you're learning throughout your failures than just sitting there saying, I'm waiting for X to happen. So guys, I hope this was helpful. If you got any value at all, I'd appreciate a like, subscribe, or share with somebody else that might be giving these same comments around they're waiting for the market to drop or the next 2008 to hit before they start their real estate investing career. But as always, guys, Tyler Wayrung with Keller Williams, and we'll catch you next time.